another match point.
Incredible third set here.
They changed their strategy a little bit and they fought their way back in.
There it is. Game, set, and match.
Hello and welcome to the 24-25 APTA Tour. We're live from the Orchard Lake Country Club in Birmingham, Michigan, bringing you the Detroit Invitational Grand Prix with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsors, Volley and Corient. Tournament support has been provided by the following local sponsors: Bank Rifkin, DAG Partners, Lux Homes, Oakland Hills Men's and Ladies Paddle Ladders, Orchard Lake Thursday Night Guys, Oswald Company, Relax the Back, Viking, Marsh McLennan Agency, Jack McNaughton, and Zimmer Biomet. I'm Mike Raleigh alongside Brad Easterbrook, bringing you the men's round of 16 between Hersh, Wagner, and Schneider and Murphy. Brad, welcome to the booth.
Well, thanks, Mike. It's good to be here with you. It's a beautiful but cold day here.
It's brisk.
In Birmingham at the Orchard Lakes Club. And this is a good round of 16 matchup here. Let's take a quick look at our players on the court. On the top left of your screen, we have Tom Murphy up there. And, he's the top right of your screen, and his partner, Schneider, to his left. And we go on the bottom of the screen here. Bottom left of the screen, crossing over, Dan Hersh with the white cap on, and his partner Mike Wagner. And this is a good matchup. Tom Murphy's got a good forehand, great hands. He sits on the net, can hit a nice drop shot.
Filthy drop shot.
Yep, and he's got a good forehand. He can get a little impatient at times here and there. Schneider's up-and-coming player, and from what I've told, he's top 5 NCAA, played #1 at North Carolina for a bunch of years. So great tennis player with a lot of skills, can hit the ball off both wings. And Hersh and Wagner, very experienced. Hersh is a little bit of a kind of a funky game, sort of using the Eastern forehand for all things, but hits a real flat ball, almost no spin whatsoever. And a little unorthodox on the volleys, but he knows where to be, knows when to bail, and knows how to play a very good game of paddle. Very tough. He had a couple of good years with Dan Hansen, and Mike Wagner's been around the block, played good years with Philippe Rams. So it should be a really good matchup. Neither Rams nor Wagner, they don't put in a hard serve. So I'm curious to see if they're going to serve and stay back, do a lot of different service strategies here, Mike.
Yeah, I saw Schneider play at the Charities, and I think that was the first I'd seen of him. And boy, talk about talent. He's got, the tennis pedigree is out of this world. And it'll be, like you said, it's a beautiful day here. It's a little chilly. About 25 degrees, so that drop shot of Murphy's will be a weapon. And Hersh, he's another one that hangs all over the net as well. I mean, both of those guys are not afraid of the volleys, and they tend to jump all over the net. And I think this will be great. Good, clean fun.
All right, so we got Super Dave Woodruff up in the chair, and it looks like Schneider is getting ready to serve in the red hoodie there. So we're going to be underway here. And the biggest transition for a lot of the tennis players is when to drive, when to lob, and getting used to using the screens, right? So we're going to see all that in play, but he's clearly an up-and-coming talent here. So this, to me, is a really good matchup. 3 really experienced players, 1 inexperienced, but with a ton of talent. So it's going to be fun to watch. See if we can turn the audio up a little on the umpire. We couldn't hear him there. He's announcing the players, but we're underway here. And there you could see Murphy getting right up there ready to hit a drop volley. But I don't think the ball cleared the net, did it?
I
couldn't tell.
So fast, I couldn't tell.
They're going to have to watch out for that, Hersh and Wagner. They're smart. They'll know that Murphy's got that shot. So if you're going to hit it, you got to stick it at him and make sure he's not right on top. And he'll take chances and look for it. Like when you're getting a screen drive, he'll go right up there, angle his pace, and he's got really soft hands.
It's deceptive. He'll play off the net, but at the moment right before you're driving, he's crashing the net, and it's almost like you're being baited to drive it, and then you fall right into the trap, and he hits that drop shot to end the point.
Right, and as a consequence, when you start thinking about it, you see Hersh actually moving up to cover the drop shot there. When you start to play somebody like that with a really good drop shot, it's such a useful thing to have. You have to adjust. There's certain shots like I love hitting an off-pace drive here and there, but if somebody will crash and hit the drop, you got to be very careful about hitting that off-pace drive. You really got to bring it more than use it.
See, there you see it. He's popping right up on top of the net.
He's actually waiting and looking for the screen drive. And it's a little bit of a guessing game. So the key for Hersh and Wagner is to actually lob a lot to make sure every time he crashes, he's just wasting energy.
Mm-hmm.
Just out. Now Wagner hit the forehand and the backhand, but I think the backhand is definitely the better shot, the preferred shot, but he'll hit them both. When he was playing with Rams, their strategy was Wagner would be back a lot, and Rams would do a lot of work cutting around at the net. Wagner will also get 1 inch from the net on the volleys. All these guys close in really well, recognizing that opportunity to shut down a drive when they come.
Boy, that's, and there isn't a drive that that Murphy isn't I mean, he respects the drive, but boy, you notice every time he is crashing on that net.
Yeah, and he got him that time. He hit 2 offensive volleys for winners. And, in some respect, Wagner and Hersh are going to have to be a little more judicious, a little more, disguised with when they're going to drive. If he sees that drive coming, he's on top of it.
I don't know if you caught that on the courtside mic, but I think Murphy just said long couple first points. Saying let's play some long points here to get the match started.
Yeah, they got a good, easy hold in that first game. And you'd almost think, like, Wagner and Hersh actually sort of played into him a little. Too many drives, he hit the putaways. They want to set the tempo the way they want to do it here. Now, Hersh and Wagner, they don't use a ton of spin overheads. They're not going to apply a ton of pressure at the net. They're great. They volley well. They're going to hit a lot of flatter overheads. We're not going to see a ton of attacking, speeding up overheads, so they can be comfortable back there.
Yeah.
They're not really that. If there's a weakness in a team that's very good in Hersh and Wagner, it's that they don't apply that net pressure, which means that he's going to have good opportunity. And Schneider taking a look there. As we mentioned, he played his college tennis in North Carolina. He's got a Tar Heels shirt on. Wonder how he feels about the Belichick signing.
Yeah, he's signed for, what, a five-year contract?
Of course, the Belichick signing on to do North Carolina football. Bring it back to some prominence.
What are they talking about? Something on the screen?
He's saying it happened in Chicago, too.
I wonder if there's
I'm not sure what they're talking about.
one of the sponsor flyers are on the screen. Sometimes that affects the bounce of the ball as it hits the screen.
All right, so they've decided their play is continuing, but we really don't know what that was about, Mike. We'll have to try to figure that out. Maybe it hit the camera? Is that what we're saying? Or it came in where the camera is and maybe it shot out at a different bounce? Okay, we're getting that from our producer Sean here, and you think he might be right, even though maybe he just wants to be included in the conversation, But that's great blitz there from Murphy. You see him doing his work at the net. He's a very good volleyer, as we said before.
He's also got a huge, huge forehand.
He can rip it.
Yeah.
Heavy top, up to down. And you see Hersh, he took a screen drive in the first one. Now, Hersh is slow playing the serve. He's kind of staying back, and then he's going to take it early and come. I'm not sure. And here they got another mistake, but a great dig there. But that time, Schneider's counting on Murphy dipping that ball, but he still gets it above the net.
Trouble.
And that's trouble. You got to get the ball lower than the net if your partner's going to blitz. So in both cases here, both of these games, it's 1-1 now. Both teams hitting drives, but getting hurt, actually, by the closing in the volley. So they're going to have to pick the right spots. There's a let cord there. Great shot from Wagner.
Brad, how does the temperature, with the temperature change getting colder, how does that affect play?
You mean out here, it definitely, in many cases, for these guys, they're going to have opportunities to use things like drop shots. Screen drives won't be as prevalent. You can deaden the ball a little bit more. It's actually a little easier to hold the net some of the time. And transition play, while it's still going to happen a bunch, it'll be a little less effective. You can't just kind of hang back, and the ball's going to fly off the screen. But it's cold, but it's not, these guys are playing a straight-up game here.
Mm-hmm.
The ball's coming off the screen. It's not dying. There's still enough temperature out there where you can compress the ball, spin it if you want. Schneider going in there heavy into Hersh's corner, getting the big rollers.
And we have, Hersh and Wagner in the backcourt. I think that their strategy has to be, all right, we're going to make them play as many balls as we can and avoid the drop that we've talked, a lot about already in the first 3 games here.
Well, clearly they're doing it here, and the one thing I will note, that was a well-placed roller there right towards the crease from Schneider. Schneider's got to be a little careful. He's swinging the ball left and right, but he's got to make sure it's going to get to the screen or get over him. But so far, I think both teams are playing the way they want to, but I think you're right. They're going to have to make sure they lob them back deep enough, keep them off the net. They're going to get their opportunities. That's a great play there. Maybe should have bailed. So I always like to say, Mike, as a match progresses, we're only a couple of games in here, but you want to take away, you want to find out how you're winning your points and losing your points, and you want to take away the way they're winning points. So in the first game, you had Murphy and Schneider get 2 put-away volleys on the closeback. In this game, they got 0, right? Take those things away right away, and now they got a break point. They're not giving them the winner. So just smarter, better drives at the right time and making sure they're going down, instead of allowing the guy to have the ball above the net where they can volley offensively. He's going for the cutter, misses it. First break of the match. Now, you've seen Murphy play a bunch. There are times where he does get, he's got to manage what he's doing. Mm-hmm. He's been a very good player for a lot of years, but he hasn't been at the top. But he's been a really good tough out and right in there. And to me, in a lot of cases, sometimes it's a little bit of that. Error in the wrong time or in the moment.
So it's kind of costing him maybe that next.
It's hard to say.
Get to that next highest level.
But really, really strong player. Huge forehand. And I'm not one who doesn't believe, you got to hit shots to make them and make them in big moments. But you got to either own it or don't, right? Mm-hmm. If you miss them in the wrong moment, if you make it, it's a great shot. If you miss it, you never should have done it, right? It's that kind of thing.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. But who was it? John Kilmer, one of our you know, he had made a great point. I think last weekend when I was listening to the finals, he had said that not all misses are mistakes, something along those lines. And I love that phrase. You know, if you're hitting the right shot and failing to execute it, you know what? That's just an execution error.
Right.
You know, in that. But I think the big thing is understanding, you know, failure to execute the wrong shot, you're doubly.
Yeah, I think, but not all times are the same either.
Yeah.
Like going for the cutter when you're up game point versus down a game point. Or, you know, if you, unless you own it, like if you own it. Hey, look, I understand you're going to go for a high risk, a high reward shot. You're going to make some errors. There's no question. But do you do it on the break point down or do you do it at 40-15? You know, when do you do it, right? In that particular case, he went for it, could have won the point, but he ended up getting, you know, losing it and losing the game right there. And these moments are obviously a big, you know, since every set's, you know, difference 3-4 points, right?
Yeah. Boy, and you just saw there 2 monster forehands from Schneider. You know, the first one, Hersh didn't even try to volley it. He just let it go through, and it came right back. But then the second one, Schneider just smoked it.
Yeah, they're going to have to watch where that is. They could have controlled that second ball where he could have driven it back towards the Murphy backhand. That's the spot they're going to want to find the most of all. And honestly, even between the, you know, as good as Murphy can have he has a good forehand. I'm still not sure it's as good as Schneider's forehand, right? You know, that's how good those guys are with their forehands.
Boy, they say it's not a break until you hold. Well, we're right back into the break points.
Ooh. And you see Wagner, he's going to the underhand serve now. He's sort of rolling it in there. For years, he really just pushed it in and stayed back. That was sort of it. And like this type of deal. And he's so good off the deck that he has the ability to attack, you know, the next ball frequently and take it in that way. So, you know, for a lot of players, the big key is understanding, it's just a tough one. You get to 2 break points, you earn them, and then a missed return and a lob out. Oh! Yeah, he's like, yes.
Sorry.
Look at that. I mean, that was a dribbler right there. Yeah, let's get a replay of that, Cal. Boom. And there it is.
I would have called it long.
Do you remember called it long? That's it. That's right. You've been banned from these tournaments except for in the booth here, Mike. But, yeah, it's funny. When they first put that rule in, I don't know if you remember the first year they made the let serve a part of the game. I think it was the finals of nationals. Jerry Vian. Women's
yes,
finals.
I remember
and she wins it with a let court dribbler like that. So funny. And that was a good 20-plus years ago, probably.
I do remember that. What they say, they changed that rule to speed up play. Well, it sped up play, didn't it? Right to the
Did
end.
right there. Yeah, I don't think it makes a big difference. I kind of like it. It just gives you a small little variant in a game that sometimes has points repeating things. You know. Yeah, he's going heavy with that roller. A lot of pace.
I find it fascinating how well today's players hit the roller in the range that they have with that roller. You know, I mean, he's got both feet outside the service line.
Doing it from behind the service box. Yeah, they're getting good at it. It's like hitting a topspin forehand. In many ways, it's easy. He definitely, you know, he's such a new player. He's hitting them all hard. He's not changing the pace of the spin very much. In a weird way, I'm wondering for them if it's a strategy concern. What he's doing when he's doing this is speeding up the point and providing opportunities. These guys could drive about half of these balls off the net. And you notice they haven't taken a single one. And we talked about before how they like to close in and volley offensively after. I wonder if he's trying to get them to drive these balls so they can close in and attack. I mean, this one, he's just power, and he's not driving that either. I like it. They're playing a long point, slowing it down. Hersh isn't biting. Neither one of these guys biting on these.
They're chumming the waters, trying to get them to engage. Definitely the longest point of the match so far.
Yeah, these guys are really staying disciplined. That's the first drive I've seen. Oh, goodness, he gets the ball. It's lower than the net. He tries to make it perfect. Can't pull the trigger. Break point again for Murphy Schneider.
Boy, some fancy footwork there from Hersh to get out of the way of that volley.
Yep. That was very good. Actually, it was a bit of a mistake. I don't know if Wagner could control, but he should have lobbed that ball, give Hersh some time, but almost got him pegged. That's a big ball.
Fantastic little drive. And what made that drive so good was just the ability. He got him to volley, Schneider to volley the ball from below net level. It wasn't the pace, and I think that's an important thing.
Yeah, just took it early, dipped it down. I think a lot of people miss sight of that. You know, you're not looking necessarily hit it hard. You're just looking to get the ball under the net, make the guy volley up. Even if he makes it, it's popping up, and you might get another good shot after it.
Or a blitz opportunity.
Yep. Oh,
It's the same spot he missed the previous one.
it's the exact same ball almost. You're a little further back in the court. He's pulling the trigger on it. And right now, you know, the style is almost exactly the same. You know, Hersh and Wagner showing some discipline, but teams are playing basically the same type of style. It's just going to come down to who's making that shot or who, you know, some execution.
We saw it there with Murphy lobbing that, choosing to lob the return rather than he'd missed 2 return drives to start the point. Said, I'm getting it going. That Schneider forehand again.
Yeah, but wisely left. So important to transition back when you see the ball gets hit that hard. It's coming back to the service line almost anyway. All right, another game point here for Hersh and Wagner. See, I don't see the benefit in hitting that forehand that hard unless he really was trying to just tag him with the ball. All right, it's a good hold there.
Well, you know, and that may be, I think those are some of the subtleties of the game that, you know, Schneider in his second, I think this might be his second full season. You know, that, I mean, I know I never learned that lesson, but he's much more talented and smarter than I am to be able to, you know, just recognize the value of hitting an off-speed ball sometimes, especially when they're letting it go no matter what.
Right, that's the point. There wasn't anything to gain there unless he literally hit him, right? If that goes in, you gain nothing. They're just going to walk in, hit it over, and come back into the net because you can't take the net on the ball when it's that high coming off the screen. You know, and it's too early in the match to have frustration. He's just got his variant. He's got a quick enough release. He's got to be able to hold it here and spin it a little, hit it hard when he wants to. I'm not saying he shouldn't bang one here and there. All right, keep a little tally there. He goes for the backhand cutter again. He's 0 for 2 on that one. I'm not saying it wasn't there, but he's moving. He just cut off a volley. It's a little tricky.
30-40.
I think this is one of the more intriguing round of 16 matches.
It's a good match.
You know, yeah,
Yeah, it's a good draw. We're seeing in the draw today, and they would have been in Chicago, but they just couldn't make it. We're seeing Durant and Mitchell making their appearance this year, playing the Grand Prix, and we're seeing a lot of this you know, a lot of players, sort of the sign of racket sports these days, playing padel, pickleball, right? They're doing all of it.
Right.
You know, all these directors, and you and I are both directors as well, becoming, you know, masters of multiple racket sports. And, you know, Mitchell and Durant playing a lot of pickleball these days. You're seeing Humphreys, Ossis, Koenig, top 5 team. They're playing a ton of padel, right? And some pickleball. You know, these guys they're all mixing up. Wanaraya, you know, these guys, and they're playing at a high level with those sports as well.
And you had kind of made the point earlier about the change in pace on that overhead.
All right, we'll talk about that when we come back, but right now let's talk about one of our great sponsors, Volley. And did you know that Volley has thrown 5 million balls to players working on their game? Don't get left behind. Get your reps in with Volley. Whether it's day or night, you're in control of your training. Volley offers world-class training on demand, helping you sharpen your skills and level up your game whenever it fits your schedule. Ready to join the movement? Start training smarter with Volley today. And I have to say, it is an amazing machine. We have one at the Garden City Country Club. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is great. It could have been something with that 15 years ago.
Yeah, so you're bringing up a point right before we start talking about Volley for a second there, and it's about pace and other things and learning to change it. And right now, that's the difference in the match. It's 4-1. A lot of the points are close, but Schneider Murphy playing one style fast and hard, and there's a little more discipline right now from Hersh and Wagner. You know, they're lobbing a lot more, taking a spot drive, right? Mm-hmm. Schneider Murphy playing too fast. They've missed a couple of cutters in a couple of moments here, and everything's just a little bit more bang bang. They're going to have to pick their moments. And so far for her, and has Hersh even hit a drive yet? No, I'm saying, has his drive made a difference in any way, shape, or form? It hasn't really appeared because he's doing his role, which is making the ball consistently, setting it up, and then you're seeing Wagner. You know, he's lobbing a lot, but he's taking a spot drive,
right?
And you know, that's been basically the difference. This match could turn on a dime again if Schneider and Murphy just sort of dial it in a little bit more. Oh, what a shot there. He should have just bailed. I'm surprised he ran in there and volleyed.
Well, I think that's it. I think he was expecting, you know, a little bit more pace from Schneider. I mean, once he's established now that big forehand, when he starts to change spots and speeds, that's where the effectiveness of the drive comes in. You know, and here we see another kind of drive. Notice, too, the majority of Murphy's misses on that drive have been into the net. And you know, whether that's a factor of in colder weather, the ball's not flying as much. Does he need to just take his aim point up higher?
This is one too many balls, a little too fast, right? He's got to slow that down. The play there for him, and he's so good at tennis, right, that he's thinking offense the whole time. The play there would have been he had Wagner cutting across volley in there, just punch a lob down the line. There's really no lob setup here. It's all bang the ball, bang the next ball. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's no setting up a point with a lob, moving in there. The actual best play he could have made there would have been a lob down the line. Even if it doesn't win you the point, it doesn't matter. You're moving the pieces around the way you want to. You're starting to control the action, not just, you know, hammer away at it.
It's a little less reactionary and a little bit more kind of planning and
right. So you're hitting the shot you know you want to be hitting when it's coming, as opposed to like he's hitting that forehand. I'm not going to say he can. He clearly could, right? But it's just bing bang, right? Mm-hmm. You know, it's like I didn't know I was going to hit that. It's just here, so I'm hitting it, right? And I personally believe, like in a lot of cases, one of the big points that somebody gets to when they improve in this game is understanding how to, you know, control the point with your lob and then look for the specific drive, not any drive. That's sort of what I'm kind of seeing a little bit here.
Oh,
Yeah, 5-1. It's moving way too fast for Murphy Schneider now. Now, that said, we've seen sets flip around in a heartbeat. Yeah. You know, they might just wake up. This could just be a moment where it's like, whoop. Or it could go the other way where Hersh and Wagner all of a sudden, hey, that was easy. All right, let's go for a little bit more. They make a couple errors, let them right back in. So we'll see. But the big key right now is slow it down a little for these guys, a little more discipline. And see if Wagner can beat you. I mean, not Wagner. See if Hersh can beat you with some drives. I don't think he's beaten him with a drive yet.
I don't think so.
So why not see? Right? Like even if you got to play some longer points, let's see. Wagner could hit it off both sides. He's going to give him that hard forehand in the middle. That time he got him. That was the hard ball. He's got to take a little pace off that screen. Oh, he punched it out. Yeah, take it. It's a good break there for Schneider and Murphy. That's a good shot at the crease. See, that's just a beautiful play. That's from the lob. The lob set that whole thing up. He sees Schneider closing in. He pushes the lob up the line, and that's where the opportunity comes from. And that's what we want to see a little bit more of. Man, he can hit it, though, man. Good one-time backhand there.
This is the kind of game that Murphy and Schneider need. A quick game to try to get back into this set.
And they're getting a couple of gifts here from Dan Hersh in this game. He missed that easy volley, and he just missed one drive there. So this is exactly the game they need. And you notice the games before, they were lobbing a lot of balls and taking a spot drive here and there. See, even that one's too hard. Schneider's got so much power. He's going to have to learn to roll that ball a little bit more. He's got everything right here where he needs it. Just a little more control with the roll and less the pace. And we're talking about it's colder out, and yet the ball's coming off the screen. He's hitting it. It's heavy. But that's the exact thing they want, is Hersh beating him with that forehand. He missed two off-pace drives there. That's got to be their thing. And not the one where they slam it into the screen and he's hitting like a layup slam dunk forehand. But that one where you give him like a medium-pace ball, go ahead, beat me with your forehand. Hersh can hit a good forehand, but it's not that kind of heavy topspin with a lot of racket head acceleration. Yes. So if you don't give him a lot to work with, he's going to struggle actually overpowering you with it, adding his own pace to the ball. But that was a good game and a welcome game from Murphy and Schneider. They're still in this.
Well, the crazy, you look at, they had, four break points and failed to convert.
Yep.
Big difference between 4-2 or 5-2 and 4-3.
How far Schneider goes. He's effectively almost taking the backhand of Murphy out of play. But he's traveling a long way, and I don't know that's a drive that's given him a ton of purchase yet, meaning they're not out of position enough. Mm-hmm. Great positioning there, textbook.
That was I was just going to say, boy, if you're paying attention at home, see how they close get their zone defense set up in front of the ball.
Yeah, right off to the right there. Give the guy the wide shot, which is very hard to make. It's pretty much quintessential. It hit him in the hat. I was going to say.
Haircut.
Yeah, it got him right in the bill of the cap there. Good fortune there. Schneider Murphy. They can take it and run with a little, boom, right in the side of the head. Weirdly, though, the ball's a little behind, Wagner. He's an experienced player. He should be moving over to the right and ducking down a little bit. And he started moving to his left. I think he thought he hit it sooner. Yeah, but the ball clipped him right on the side of the head. Close there.
You see a clear strategy here of avoiding that forehand of Murphy's, with Hersh dumping the ball deep to the middle, and then
That's a great ball. Wagner's been the staple of the Pittsburgh scene, so Stan Hersh for years. These guys have been around here, like he's playing like 17 years, 18 years, Wagner. Some good years with for the Brams. Really solid, good player and a great guy.
see a little frustration from Schneider there.
Yeah.
One forced error on that miss.
See, the harder one, I'd like to see him learn how to, but not that one either. Like a little more acceleration, but spin versus pace.
Yep,
You know what I
yep.
mean? Like spin versus pace, so he can move that around a little bit more. 30 all here. We're seeing. Well, dink and blitz try there from Murphy. Setting up the forehand. Wagner goes back. Perfect play of the neck there. Hersh doesn't panic. Lets his partner play it. They switch back here. They're staying. Both these guys can play either side. Nice.
Wow.
Great combination. He hits it into the neck, shoots out.
It's not even fair. You know, it's amazing how it goes into the neck, and you think, well, I've got the point controlled here, and it becomes an offensive shot for Wagner.
Yeah, set point. Misses that serve. Yeah, but he's got to be ready in that backhand volley. Definitely caught him by surprise, though, like you said. He probably thinking, we got it in the crease. We're in good shape here. Boom, here comes the backhand, right? See, again, it's so hard. He's got to take a little off it. It's just flying off. They know just to let it go. Ooch, take it. They're just getting a few errors here out of, I wouldn't say they're forcing them. They're just making a few errors, Wagner and Hersh now. Kind of giving them a little life. Oh, and there it is. I'll take it. 2 games in a row. All right, up 5-1. Little mini run here. Block lob and blitz there from Hersh. Oh, wow.
What an exchange.
He's just getting on top of the net. I love it. Oh, my goodness, and that's what goes right there. Murphy's like, you're jumping in front of me? All these balls. Come on, man. That's my job. And the truth be told, that is usually what Murphy's the one jumping in front of somebody else. He didn't know what to do when the ball came to him. Just missed it.
It's a great drive down the line. Caught the line there from Wagner. second missed volley here from Hersh. Somebody take its temperature. I've seen him play matches without missing a volley.
Yeah, and I think Wagner and Hersh have gotten a little off script, too. They're playing a little quicker now. Before, we were talking about how they would lob 20 balls in a row, even though they're coming off the screens. They're starting to, get a little fast.
Mm-hmm.
Usually around midnight. The songwriters like to play kind of late at night. There you go. 6 love, 6-1. Kind of expected, I think.
Ooh, he's right there for the drop, but so is Wagner, and he tries to tag him. He just misses. That's the thing. They're just missing balls right now.
Boy, I love that two-hander of Wagner's. It's just so smooth.
Yeah, it's a really economical shot, too. You could see the guy moving before he even has to pull the trigger. Quick down the line there. Because he saw Murphy trying to poach. Not sure what that shot is. Yeah, but it's not a smart play there from Hersh and Wagner. They're sort of playing right into their hands a little bit now, and they're just giving them points. So these guys have worked their way up to 5-4 now. See if they can serve it out here.
And I think it's just, a matter of, Hersh and Wagner to tighten things up a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
they just started giving more points away, and they got away from that original formula where we were talking about, Wagner was doing more of the damage. Hersh was just kind of setting it up and never missing. Now he's missing, and Wagner's missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're both getting it. I mean, I'm not the other guys are hitting, any no-pressure shots, but it's more just the errors on the other side that have really happened, and they've gotten faster. I think the biggest thing, too, and you had said before, it's Schneider's second season of playing some paddle. His physical skills are so extreme. You can almost see his drive before he's hitting it. You know what I mean? He's got to develop that kind of bit of deception or something where you're not sure if he's going to rip it hard or if he's going to hit it. It's like you're seeing it and you're either letting it go or you're just going right into position and blocking it, right? He's got to have that thing where he's sort of setting his paddle, holding it, and he's rolling it a little, hitting it hard one time. So it gives you a bit of the yips on the volleys as opposed to the, here it comes, right? Here it comes. And that takes a moment to develop. I mean, I'm sure he has it. All right, good attack there. Wagner staying up, trying to make a reflex volley right back. All right. They had a set point before Hersh and Wagner. And since then, it's been all Murphy Schneider. See if they can close this thing out. But either way, whether Murphy Schneider loses or not, it's really helpful for them not to get banged out at 6-1, I mean. And they're kind of in this match now. They see a little different formula here. Although to me, the difference isn't so much just the play of Murphy. It's more the play that Hersh and Wagner has kind of got a little off script a little bit. A variety of waterfalls here. In order to stop it, he's going to have to get something down the line and deeper. This is 6 in a row. There we go. Down the line and deeper. Oh!
He got what he wanted.
Yeah, but it's almost like the moment he got off of it, he took the first one he got, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So really what I'm talking about, because we have 2 set points here now for Hersh and Wagner, is controlling the lob versus he was surviving, then he got one ball,
Yep.
and he took it, right? He's got to learn how to let some of those waterfalls control him, then the lob down the line, right? And so it's not a, thing of emergency. It's good off pace
Took a
forehand.
little something off
Yeah,
that one.
that's good off pace forehand. Come on, taking it.
Wow.
And a huge backhand there to close out the first set.
All right, we'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by CSM.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour. We're here at the Detroit Invitational in Birmingham, Michigan, with this round of 16 match between Hersh and Wagner and Murphy Schneider. First set went to Hersh Wagner, 6-4. They jumped out to an early 5-1 lead. And, Murphy Schneider were able to gain a little bit of that momentum, clawing back in that set. I think that's an important thing for them to be able to kind of sets a tone for the second set here.
Yeah, for sure. And they should actually, and it should also be a good learning thing for Hersh and Wagner. What happened? Well, hey, we got a 5-1. What happened there? We let, 3 games in a row for those guys. And, so both teams will be coming at this set. It's a fresh game. And we'll see if, to me, it's just about Hersh and Wagner were generally just a little more disciplined to begin the match. And then they kind of got off that. And that's where the comeback started for Murphy Schneider. Murphy Schneider just kind of get it back into discipline. I mean, they're clearly trying to do a lot of damage. We talked about Murphy having a big forehand. It's in play a little, but not a ton yet. They're not right now able to control points with lobs and get set up, so it's really just all whatever they hit, they hit.
Right.
And the other team's able to see the offense, so it's just more, for me, controlling the backcourt for those guys. And I would start giving more off pace to Hersh a little bit too, and see if he can beat you with the kind of his own forehand here and there, because that comeback started when he started trying to go for more. And we'll see if he kind of dials it back to where it was before. And this thing changes strategy a little bit.
And I think I'd like to, as we talked about, I'd like to see Schneider start changing speeds, not only on his roller, on that overhead right there, but also, in the backcourt off that forehand wing, not always bringing the 100% drive.
Sure.
But using maybe a little bit more spin.
Absolutely. You can't be more, right on that, because if 100% is coming all the time, it's easier to deal with, right? When you have to deal with 50, 70, 100, and then he hits it 100, but you're not sure it was going to be 100, you thought it was 50, right? So now it's just more things to have to think about. And the same thing with the roller. He's hitting a hard roller, and he's moving Wagner up the line. Once he moves him up the line, hit it 3/4 to a half and let the ball go to the back more and make him go back more. Right? It's like the same shot. And the physical tools are all there. It's just, part of learning where it's going to be. Great volley in there from Wagner. Once again, that's Dan Hersh hitting the ball in the white. Top of your screen, his partner Mike Wagner in the green. And the bottom screen, in the blue, Robbie Schneider and his partner Tom Murphy in the gray.
Yeah, we've got a full day of live stream. We've actually condensed the day a little bit due to some forecasted weather coming in tomorrow. So they've moved the men's semifinals to tonight. So for, I'm sure, all the fans that are at home making a day of it, they can now turn into the evening.
And I got to tell you, Mike, you got a little rasp already at 11.
Yeah,
so do
get
I.
ready.
So, yeah, get ready. You're going to hear some real hoarse, about by 8 o'clock, you're going to be like, hey, what's up? So, those dulcet tones, we're going to take it easy. I got to call my voice coach. Maybe
yeah, I think we need some lozenges or something.
Lozenges. Even.
I'm sure you do like exercises, like voice exercises to keep the pipes nice and tony.
Yep, do my scales, my voice scales. You got it. Change pace, change pitch. It's a lot of the same stuff we're doing out
There
here
we
on the
go.
paddle court. Oh, he saw it. He tried to pull it out there, but the little move there from Murphy making a difference. Smart lob volley there from Tom Murphy. If you're at a disadvantage in any type of exchange, lob it and retreat. He knew it.
See that drive right there? Love that. And it also gives him the ability then to, like he was blitzing him behind that ball. He dipped it low. He's forcing Hersh to lift it up, and the threat of that blitz coming in makes that volley so much harder. Because if he doesn't hit a perfect volley in that situation, he's getting stuffed with the blitz.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge change if he starts bringing that in there. It'll make him that much more dangerous. All right, so Murphy and Schneider on a mini run here. Even though they lost the first set, they've won, 4 out of the last 5 games. It's just been mostly serving and staying back, kind of sloping it. That time Murphy takes the drive at Wagner, gives Hersh a chance to come in. So many of these pros and top players will use option plays like that. That wasn't an intentional drop there. Great hands there from Wagner. Even that, good.
Yeah.
Little off-pace drive.
Must be listening to us.
I like it.
Just see a clear strategy up at the net here that they are playing, really avoiding the Murphy forehand, but playing everything through the middle of the court. And then when they get the opportunity to work the screens in Schneider's corner, I'd say that's a very clear and strategy.
Yeah, definitely a bunch of that. I think what it really is, they're going to take their lumps with, they know he's got a ton of offense, but he's been hitting it hard, so they see it coming, they let it go, and then they can hit it back. And they're just going to challenge his screenplay. And right now we haven't seen him control lobs. Even now, he's surviving. He's not controlling the point with a lob down. You know what I mean? He's not placing it here and then looking for a forehand there. And that's just part of the game, that he will just keep developing. And the more these guys do it, at a certain point, we might be back here at the exact same time next year where we're going, they're not hitting it anywhere near his corner, right? Because once he starts controlling his lobs and get the offense when he wants it on his terms versus just on any term, right? I'm hitting this one now. It's going to be a world of difference, and that kind of talent See, yeah, that's it. Take a little off, even more off of that. Would have been even a good time for a little chip drive there that stays low to the back corner screen, something like that. Yeah, it's starting. You can feel it like starting to kind of click in a little bit. At least it seems that way to me. Here, Mike. And there you see he was looking for the signature move we talked about. He's planted on the net, going for the drop volley, but somehow the net got in the way. Great drive there. Just too low for him to handle. Really good shot. And there's good communication there from Hersh. He's letting them know that he's not driving it, so come back right away.
Well, it's a great angle to see a little mini lesson there of screenplay when Hersh is lobbing. You see how he keeps his head so still. He's not looking up to see the lob come off his paddle. Something that Johan Durant does so well. You know, he just kind of holds his head after the hit.
Yeah, I see him stay completely still for a full second after he hits it, looking down where he hit it from, not looking where he hit it.
What a great volley.
Yeah, really good. Oh, Hersh stays in, sticks it at him a little. This is good for Murphy Schneider. They're really starting to change a little bit of what they're doing, making some adjustments.
They seem to be settled in a little bit more, you know.
Smart lob there. Smart bail there from Wagner. Ball's higher than the net guy inside the service box. Even with a great volley, odds are not in your favor. So go back, play it off the screen.
Murphy just trolling, looking for that drop shot.
He is. But they've been doing a really good job. I mean, he's taken 3 opportunities with his backhand. You know, 2 cuts, he's missed them in that 1 drop, and he really hasn't gotten one the whole match. So they've been doing a good job not getting baited into hitting that drive. You know, in the first game, remember the first game and then they went down 5-1. They hit 2 or 3 drives that Murphy closed in and volleyed behind him. Not the drop, but attacking volleys.
Yes.
From that moment, that's been the key to like what they, you know, sort of put them on their, you know, winning streak for Hersh and Wagner. So they're not getting baited into it, which is great and crucial for them. Oh, he gets that one right in there. All right, game point here for Murphy Schneider.
That was a great spot from Wagner.
Yeah, it's a tough one there. I'm not sure. See, it's you got to know when to come in or not. If the guy's still hitting a ball higher than the net with his weight moving forward, you know, he sticks it there, and I'm not sure who has the advantage there. Was it wiser for Schneider to stay back or not? I think it was, but tough call. He's starting to take better aim at the creases, too, a little bit. That's a tough dig for Murphy. Great shot. Spotted drive on the one before, gets the weak volley. He cleans it up.
But it was all brought from that hard overhead.
Yep.
Well, that's a great move from Murphy. Saw how he came,
Yeah.
read that good lob.
Yeah, it was a perfect, actually, example of transition play from both teams. You know, you got Hersh cutting across, trying to anticipate the drive, but he doesn't reach for anything that's not there. Murphy hits it behind him. He knows his partner's got the cover, and they end up right back at the net. You know, it's just well done because his partner can hit a screen drive on the next one. And these type of slides, you know, where you're looking to cover certain parts of the court, that's good play. Murphy's getting the cutoff volley there. Now that hard one I understand because he's using it like, you know,
shake
trying
the
to speed up
court
play,
up.
and then he's
Yep.
leaving it up. So that one I get. It's purposeful, and he's bailing afterwards. Right on top of the net. Wagner has made that drive a bunch of times today. Couldn't come up with that one. You guys are just battling here. I like this now. It's great. You take a huge cut at that, you know, down, up, over it. All he's got to do is meet it, you know, in front, dip
Take
it
it
down,
early
and then that's it. You're right. But he's taking a big swing there. You can hear him yelling at himself like that. You know, that's really what he needed on the ball before, just like that. And it's just a learning process. You can watch him, you know, all the physical skills. And I imagine, I never actually got the opportunity to see him play tennis, but I imagine he was just a vicious ground stroker. You know, attacking ground stroker. Yeah, they're really testing him in those screens, as you said before, Mike.
You know, and I think what Schneider's got to be looking for is the use of the lob to take some of the pressure off himself by lobbing a little bit more down the line and directing the ball more down the line. It's tougher for them to bring the ball back straight ahead into his corner. And, boy, saw a nice little drive there.
Yeah, it was a great shot. It looked like he was going to let it go, but he ended up hitting it anyway, so great shot. This is actually, even though they're up a set, it's a good game for Hersh and Wagner to fight through, and they managed to do it. You can hear him, this is how we're going to play, you know.
It was a big game.
Find out what he was referring to. Yeah, there were opportunities there on both sides. They were fighting it off well. And again, it's just like it comes down to, like, again, we're just missing a couple of huge offensive balls. That's a great shot there. Working that ball in the corner.
And I would think another kind of key for Murphy and Schneider is the more that Murphy's able to get involved, like with volleys, like we just saw there, I think that bodes well for them. And conversely, if we get Hersh and Wagner to minimize the number of times that Murphy's able to hurt them, I think that's their key to winning this set and then finishing off the match.
Yeah, no, I mean, no question. They definitely are going after Schneider in the screens. They're definitely aware that they got to be careful on their screen drives. They're not hitting them, so they've done a good job with that. And the biggest blip they had was really they just started making some errors in the middle, and Hersh got a little too cute with his forehand. He missed a few. Get back to it here. Eventually, they're going to get what they want. That hard ball off the screen, that ball that's coming in there. Oh, got it. Oh, nice hands there from Schneider.
Hands.
It's hard underneath the net to get that ball when you put pace on it to go in. And Murphy, experienced player, doesn't even reach for it. He knows that if somebody's hitting it up, it's highly unlikely they're going to hit it in if they put pace on the ball. Smart. See Murphy crowding the net even there. Was getting burned with a lob.
Boy, Schneider was so nonchalant, I thought that ball was out.
That's what I thought for a second too there, Mike. It's funny. I like that. Slow play a ball and then sneaky drive there. This is going to, yes, tattoos it, but just perfectly played there by Wagner. He's waiting on the net. You got to control lobs to get a guy off the net first. He's swinging, though. Not afraid to take the cuts. And at 40 love, I guess. Oh, yeah, I got him that time. Wagner had to chase the other one, and he did not get the lob up, so he has no time to get out of the way, and here it is. Oh, boy. He draws him in there. He's turned around.
Did he say sorry? No sorries.
No sorries. Yeah, that was a good shot. And in a weird way, Hersh knows he's got to get the other one higher, otherwise he is a bit of a sitting duck there. Good tag there from Schneider. And that's the stuff. If you can get the hard overhead to speed a point to a place where the other guy can't control it, it's moving faster than he's moving, it's a good play. But I think that's the first one we've had where he's gotten him that bad on that. But they're starting to make more of a difference here with the rollers, and they're changing the pace a little bit more now. It's definitely, Murphy Schneider right in this now.
And that change of speed, and from the same look where he's bringing that heavy swing, and if he brings the energy up the back of the ball more and spins it, Hersh has to play the ball differently. So he's reacting to the length of swing, and in a lot of instances, kind of moving forward up the court. Well, if he changes that ball in speed into spin,
right? Absolutely, yeah, no. And there's going to be some great examples. He could actually even watch Durant a little out here today. Durant, who just sets his paddle right there, and he could go from a hard overhead to a roller to a hard forehand, to a soft dipper, all in the same motion. Power, same thing. He sets his paddle, and he rips up underneath it, or he can flatten it out, and it's all from the same position. There's no reason he can't be doing the same, and I'm sure he will be. You know, there's some guys, though, they do develop their game on power. Like, you know, for instance, one of your Chicago guys, Adam Morgan, he, you know, seeded second here in this tournament. He pretty much comes at you with power. Not a lot. You know it's coming almost, but he's just bringing it. Now, it's a little the same, but for him it's kind of working, you know, but still, even there, I think he could add another dimension to that. You know, from me and my playing days, you know, somebody who could go hard and fast at you, and then somebody who could spin it up with a similar type thing, it was much more difficult for me.
Yeah, you've got to defend.
If I knew it was coming hard and fast, and I knew it, it was not a big deal.
15 long.
In fact, actually, one of the another great North Carolina tennis player, David Caldwell, had that ability. He could flatten it out at you. He would heavy spin it at you. Back in the day, great talent.
Good hands from Hersh there. Cleaned up his own mess. He got a little away with that down-up overhead that Murphy moved forward on.
Yeah, it was good hands. Spot there. Schneider can also let some balls drop when he's playing. He plays most of his screens like up above his shoulders. He's never letting it come down to here and giving it that extra time and lift. It just speeds things up. Murphy's got the vest back on. Maybe they're not giving him enough work back in that corner. He's like, I'm getting cold over here.
Really good overhead. You know, that deep ball kind of into his left hip.
Yep. Yep. Stand back. Smart move. Not a good time to come in behind that. Everything is a high block. They're just going down, up into his corner.
It's good at positive affirmations from Murphy there. Schneider just didn't need to thread the needle as much.
Well, that's the thing, and that pressure kind of constantly hitting the ball into your corner, you start to feel like when you get a ball to hit, you're going to need to hit it, and it just comes back to controlling the overheads, letting some of these drop, being able to let them play into the spot you want it to, place the ball down the line high enough, and then, you know, you're going to be out of danger, right? And then you can actually start to look for the shots you're hitting. You know, he can literally hit any ball,
right,
Schneider, any ball from anywhere, you know, at any time. He literally can do that. The point is, it's not beneficial to do that, right? It's beneficial to hit the balls when you're in control. You've moved the guy out of position. You know it might be coming to your forehand, and you know where the spaces are. That's the difference. I mean, he is that good where he literally could hit every single ball.
Yeah.
But that's not going to beat
Just 'cause you
the
can
better
doesn't mean you
teams.
should.
Right,
Yep.
exactly. That's not going to beat the better teams.
2 faults there from Wagner to give him the break.
Yep.
Interesting that I mean, they were up, was it 40-15 there serving? It's a heck of a swing.
Yeah, it's a big moment here because Murphy and Schneider, ever since that moment, they've never been able to recapture, and these guys have just gotten a little better, a tick better, right?
Yep. I just had one leave the yard there. It's the hard thing with that hard overhead hit cross court. It's then climb up that side screen and out of the court.
And you know what's funny is we did in the beginning of the match start to talk a little bit about the cold weather. It doesn't even feel like it's cold weather out there. This ball's moving fast. It's a lot of screen play. It's back and forth. The ball's just getting hit at that type of pace, you know. And it's a good sunny day. It's not like one of these cloudy days. You know, it's cold out there, but there's nothing about this. This feels like a cold weather match.
Yeah.
It's like grinding. This is half hard hitting, aggressive movement. All right, it's a moment here for Hersh and Wagner here. They got to just clean it up.
That ball must have gone off of Hersh, and rather than losing the point from Schneider's overhead, it must have, because it's 30 love. I thought it was 15-0.
And again, that's Super Dave Woodruff up in the chair, our umpire. And you were talking about, I mean, if anyone has, you know, it's kind of a live stream here, so there's no visual component here, but Mike is literally in his grandmother's chair with his down coat over his legs. It's as if he should be making a quilt right now. Yeah, and he needs a fire. Like, he is sitting in here, you know. And you want your pipe, Mike?
Yeah,
and I could get you a nice hot cocoa.
There we go.
He is
It would be
just
complete.
cuddled up. So cute.
Can you imagine being up in the...
And that's where I was
chair,
getting to.
yeah.
Imagine being up in the umpire's chair, right? He's doing a good job spotting his overheads more, too. He's constantly getting Hersh chasing up that side wire. He's bringing him into the middle of the back screen. And he's getting them spun around once in a while. See, I like this from Hersh and Wagner right now. Things have been going not so good. We've lost, you know, like 5 out of 6 games here. Let's slow this thing down to, let's not make a mistake for the next 2-3 points. See what happens. And there's a mistake. No, but that's exactly what he doesn't want to do right now, right? 30-15, just missed the return. Boom, done. Right. Oh, he'll take that, though. Little let cord. Perfect shot there. Perfect pace from Hersh. Great ball. Another let cord, 2 in a row now. And you can see Schneider, that kind of irked him a bit. Here it is. Yeah, he's got his hands out. He just not coming up on that one.
We don't see Schneider hitting that off. I'd love to see him, the other overhead, when he changes pace, I'd love to see him go back into the deuce corner with that off speed into the side screen.
Yes, that one where you come to the outside of the ball a little bit, right?
You get the ball to bite that side screen.
Yeah, I haven't seen him do that. I'm not sure he has that yet. It's, you know, it's just fun about watching these guys play in the beginning of their career. You see stuff develop. They're playing almost like a midi floating eye here and there. You see Murphy doing a lot of moves up and in. And here he goes. And now you can see where Schneider stays behind him. He's whiffed on that one. All right. And Schneider's moving behind him, and they are doing that pretty well. He's allowing Murphy the freedom, and he goes back to the service line knowing anything that's in the air he's covering. And if it happens to go by Murphy, and Murphy's running up right in front of the player to put himself behind it. Good bail. And that'll give him the opportunity to hit a cutoff offensive volley, whether it's a drop or attack at the screen, something like that. He didn't get one, so good job from Hersh and Wagner. See what happens here. Now you see Murphy off, and then you're going to see this moment where they hit a harder one. Good job, and he's off the net.
That's a great off-speed
hit the ball
drive.
at him, yeah. You know what's funny, too, is Murphy's a really good volleyer, but he likes being closer. He doesn't volley from off the net that much, and it was just an off-pace drive. They're both off the net there. That's when it's very effective, that off-pace drive, when you got the guys off the net. Here's the crash and the bail, and at that time, it's a mistake in the sense that he wasn't moving back behind him that time. You watch this crash here, and you still see he's looking to cover his line. He's not looking to cover the backcourt.
Yeah.
So Schneider, in that case, wasn't looking to cover, and that's a mistake for those guys. They got to have that on lockdown. All right, game point for Hersh and Wagner. And that's the mantra for these guys right now. And these guys are going to go away from that game going, 4 let cords or whatever. But either way, those guys cleaned it up a little bit. And it's time to talk about one of our other great sponsors, Corient. And
At Corient,
the APTA's 24-25 season. Corient is a fee-only wealth manager who puts their clients at the center of everything they do. And to learn more, go to Corient.com.
Boy, you almost feel like Hersh and Wagner, they gave a game away and then they stole a game.
Yeah,
they
they gave the 2
games.
faults, and then that one they ended up with 3 let cords, or maybe it was 4, to help close that game out for them. And, I do feel a little bad for Murphy and Schneider on that one. It hasn't really reared its head, but all of the let cords so far, for the most part, have been Hersh and Wagner's. He had the drop serve before, and those 3 there, but those were big, big points.
Huge.
Yeah, because that's a break back there. And Hersh and Wagner were definitely, struggling there for a minute. So right back on serve. See if they can hold here. Great lob stab there. Oh, that was tough. He was rushed on that one. He forced it a little. Great shot there from Schneider. He's getting much more accurate in that corner. He's at 2 or 3 right in the crease. Yeah, again, they kind of stare at it. They give you the impression it's out. All right, that one was, though, so Murphy Schneider, 30 love. Murphy forehands, few and far between.
Yeah, they've done a
Outside of the
good job
return of serve, I don't think he's hit maybe 2 balls in the middle of the point with his forehand.
They've done a good job of kind of isolating off of that shot.
All right, here's once again. I'm Brad Easterbrook along with Mike Rowley. Men's round of 16. That's Dan Hersh serving. His partner there in the green, Mike Wagner. And they're taking on Murphy and Schneider here in a good round of 16 match. We knew this was going to be a good tight one. I mean, I could have easily seen this as 3 sets. You know. Oh, just missed a couple of screen drives there. Both cases are going to have to execute those.
And that might be the pressure that Murphy puts on, just that threat of the drop shot that, Wagner or Hersh feels like might have to do a little bit more with it. And they drive an error off the screen. Boy, Brad, you see that? It's, I say it all the time, how the important, at 4-2, this is a big, the all-important 7th game. But,
Right.
It just is so fascinating how the best players in the game, the bigger the point, the more disciplined they become.
That's a key point. It's we're talking about before. It's the right shot and you miss it. It's fine, but it's also you got to know when the right times are too. Not every point's the same, right? And these moments right now, it's also setting the tone, and it's everything. Or they're at the business end of this match, right? And you'll see oftentimes and sometimes a match, where an up-and-coming team is playing a top team, and they'll dust them in the first set, maybe even like a 6-2 or 6-3, because the top team is like, they're hitting their balls and they're missing a few, and they're just trying to get it. But then they're like, okay, that's it. We don't have any more sets to play with. And then they tighten those screws, and then all of a sudden the points the other team is winning are drying up, and they've got to create more of them, and then it just flips right over, and good players do recognize a moment in a match where, I'm not missing this ball, right? I'm not doing it. And then and if I do, it's on the exact right ball. It's not like I'm just hitting any ball. It's on the exact right ball that I'm going to do it on. And you might miss, but that's the best you can do in any situation. Great overhead. They're definitely turning them around a little, but I like the point from those guys, and from all those guys, actually. It was much more disciplined and controlled. Good coverage. He's got to get that lob up, though. Chasing. He's got Wagner chasing. Good job.
Really good lob there.
Yeah, he took the offensive lob, offensive volley, and blocked it. Got it right up quickly.
No, I had asked Tiernan.
Dig. Nice try. Great volley there from Wagner. He sees that drive coming. He closes in and sticks it behind Schneider.
I mean, the last two points have taken almost as much time as they played a couple games in that first set, in the middle of that first set.
Oh, great volley from Murphy there. I mean, Wagner reads the cut overhead. He comes in, plays the offensive shot, but perfect positioning, and Murphy's there. Watch him, he hurts him. Yeah. That's kind of when you know your drive's not spotted well, when you put it right on the guy's paddle. It's not like Wagner wasn't in a good position. It's just, got to hit a better drive there. Great volley from Murphy. Yeah, they're just hammering away at this one spot, continuing to try and get Hersh chasing up the side wire. Oh, he's got him reaching a little.
40-15.
All right.
Boy, oh boy.
5-2, Murphy Schneider. Yeah, and the match has definitely turned a bit, you know, Mike, in the sense that we were talking before about, you know, Wagner being able to hurt him with the off-base drive in the middle of the point after they lob a bunch. It's kind of going the other way. When they're hitting the drives now, they're hurting themselves. The other guys are closing it off. They're seeing the drives coming better. It's good. And then they're also just missing a couple, Hersh and Wagner. You know, Wagner has definitely missed a few more. And they close that game out with 2 missed drives. So Murphy Schneider closing in on a second set here. We could be going 3.
Two serving 5 to stay in the second set.
Oh, rips that one, sticks it off the screen, Schneider. They keep giving him the hard down up overheads, a lot of waterfalls.
No! 15 all.
Yeah, tough drive there. Ball lower than that, 2 players in position. You heard Dan Hersh calling out, Tom Murphy calling out one screen. Good move. Yeah, they're seeing these situations. And when you get in that habit of hitting the down-up overhead all the time, you pull the trigger on the wrong time, a quick move there from Schneider, and catches it on the up bounce and sticks it. Throw it up. Good call from Murphy. Give his partner direction.
That's a great lob.
Yeah, perfect. And here we are, 2 set points now for Murphy and Schneider.
15-40.
See if Wagner tries to serve and volley. For the most part, Hersh and Wagner have been kind of serving and staying back. optioning to drive the next ball and try to come in that way. He's coming in this time. Nice first volley. And that time he gets burned by the close-in.
That was a big boy volley right there.
It's a big boy volley. And again, when you drive a ball from under the net, though, you're hitting it up. So the guy gets the volley down. Like that, too. Drop shot. And he gets to close it out with the one drop he gets here. That's amazing. So Murphy Schneider, 6-2 in the second.
We'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by CSM.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour. We're here at the Detroit Invitational in Birmingham, Michigan. We're in the round of 16 match between Hersh and Wagner and Murphy and Schneider. Hersh and Wagner won the first set 6-4. Murphy Schneider won the second set 6-2. I'm alongside Brad Easterbrook. I'm Mike Raleigh at the beautiful Orchard Lake Country Club. It's about a 25-degree day. You see Dave Woodruff, Super Dave Woodruff there up in the chair. I can guarantee that he's got his long johns on and potentially some hand warmers and bun warmers if they make them, because it's about 25 degrees, the sun's shining. We had a tale of two sets there with Murphy Schneider going down 5-1 in the first set and clawed back to a 6-4 set. Then they seem to take control in the second here. 6-2. Brad, what are your thoughts there on that second set?
You know, really, it's kind of a reversal of fortunes, right? You know, and they even got one of those games back with like 3 or 4 let cords. They just making mistakes. They're missing the drives they need to. They got to get back to that. They played 1 or 2 points where it looked like they were going to start. Okay, we're going to not miss some balls here, get back to the way we were winning some things in the first. And then they closed that game out when they started it that. They closed it with 2 missed drives, like boom, boom, right? And they're just not staying sort of in that discipline slot. And Murphy and Schneider have just upped their game another level or a tick, right? And they're making some, a few less mistakes. And it's just going to come down to who can sort of get it back into that slot they need to and execute the shots they're getting. You know, like. All right.
All right, here we go for all the marbles.
And they've been sticking with the same strategy, sort of like they're going after, Schneider in that corner, and they can keep doing it, but, they want to start changing some. Everything's been like a down-up waterfall type ball. They can add some different shots in there where you're going longer and through the court more. Some other ones there. Just getting a little faster. Quick error there. All right, ball called out there, I guess, by Wagner. We'll see what happens. Okay, they're playing a let. All right. So the umpire must not have had a clear vision of whether that ball was in or not, because although usually they'll overrule, in this particular case, they're just playing it over. If, however, the umpire overrules it, then the point would go into Murphy and Schneider, but you didn't see it, so.
I think that's the great thing about platform tennis is, in an you know, in the majority of our matches we're not lucky enough to have somebody in the chair, but you know, if you disagree over a call or the partners disagree over the call, if it was returnable, you just play it over. You know, no harm, no foul. I think that, you know, it kind of speaks a lot to some of the things that make this game great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's also just the nature of the game, right? Because any ball can be returnable. So if you make a mistake in the middle of the point, it really doesn't have a good determination as to who's going to win it one way or the other. It's better to get it right, play it over. It's sort of the mythical wisdom that if you lose the next point or you're throwing a fault, well, then it clearly, you know, like you clearly made the
Ball
wrong
doesn't
call.
lie.
Or right,
Yeah.
well, right. The next point doesn't lie. That ball is in then, right? He's definitely getting Hersh turned around a bit here and there. And it's unique because, you know, Hersh playing a long time. Great shot that time. The shove forehand gets it at his feet. But he never changes his grip. He'll use that Eastern forehand to get all those grips. Like, if me, ball goes in the screen there, I'm usually changing it to, you know, a continental or even over some of the time, even a little more towards the Eastern backhand to open the face more. He plays them all, and he's comfortable doing it. He's gotten to an extremely high level doing it, but they're starting to make him stretch a little now, and he's struggling getting the lobs up high enough. And
Did you notice that the speed of that overhead that Murphy rolled into the deuce side screen? He took the pace off, and he drew the error. It's a great play.
Yeah, it's a great play, but like I said, they're going down up every time now, so these guys are starting to see them. They've gotten in that kind of habit. You know, they're not letting any balls drop and go through the court a little. And when you start to develop too many of one pattern, then it becomes predictable. There you see Murphy's crowding in. Schneider's going to get ready to play kind of floating eye type of situation where he'll get the ball over his head. You're going to watch these different moves here and there. They happen here and there.
You know, you had referred to the floating eye where Murphy was up at the net kind of looking to cut off all the volleys, and then Schneider was behind him roaming, hitting the overheads. That is not a strategy that, you know, people have tried it. Why do you think that strategy doesn't, you know, hold water?
It can work in moments, and there are teams who can do it. You have to have specific skill sets that allow you to do it. You have to have a guy who's great driving the ball off the screen and great taking overheads from the back, and the guy at the net's got to get right up in front, and he's just going to use his hands. But it's hard to sustain for a long period of time because all you keep doing, you just keep lobbing the guy who's at the net all the time, right? And then you can push the other guy who's behind him left and right more. And then when you do take a drive, the danger is when you take a drive, that guy at the net is going to cut it off and drop volley or hit an offensive shot. But if you're able to control the guy who's behind him enough, it's hard to sustain it. So most people don't use it they do it for moments in a point, right? You hit a ball hard off the screen, and the guy crashes. He's looking to cut off the volley now. The other guy backs off in case the drive gets behind him. So it's good moment play. It's hard to sustain it for an entire match.
Yeah, the guy hitting the overhead has to do a lot, cover a lot
covering
more court.
all, you know. But in a moment where you're doing it while they don't see you do it, and then you move into it for a few balls, and you can be very successful for certain times. Drop shot, I like it, around the corner. Oh, goodness.
What a get from Wagner.
Yeah, it was totally going in. He missed an easy ball there. He was just watching him too much. Like he hits it, he thinks it's a winner, then he gets it there at the last second. He was too much waiting. He didn't move over to the line right away. I get it. Seeing if Wagner's getting it, and he did. Wagner's quick.
Leg court dead time cost him.
But again, he's got Wagner bailing. A three-quarter would have done it. That was wide. Great shot. Spotted drive there from Hersh. Really good. That hard, flat forehand down the line. A slippery game here from Murphy and Schneider. If they lose this one, they're going to get like, it's slipping away from them more than, they're losing control, a little bit of the speed of a couple of these shots. Hersh was able to do some damage with his forehand, and that's a big, big thing. If they could find some winners with Hersh's forehand, that'll be huge for.
It's kind of free, for
Hersh and
free
Wagner.
free points that they probably don't count on. That isn't their MO when they play in the backcourt. Hersh is typically that real steady, rock solid player in the backcourt that sets up Wagner.
He can hit a sneaky, slap-shotty forehand, and he's hit a few of them. And if it gets on a little streak where it's working, it'll be massive for those guys. Once again, Dan Hersh in the top left of your screen, top right in the green, like Wagner. And in the blue here, North Carolina blue, Schneider and his partner Murphy in the green vest. Bottom of your screen. Cut that to the side wire. Well done. He's got it's a well done. He's hitting that around the outside of the ball, long and deep, and the ball's going to hit the back and shoot to his side. Wagner had to kind of curl around that and get his backhand underneath it. A good shot there from Murphy.
When he also caught it on the rise, as the ball's rising, he's chopping it down so it increases the amount of spin on that ball.
Yeah, gets the energy called out. And they're switching sides, so confirmed by the umpire. That was a big hole for Murphy Schneider. They had command of that game. It kind of slipped away from him a little. These guys are battling.
Tell you, this Orchard Lake Country Club is pretty impressive. It's even for a winter day, it's got a little snow on the ground, but got Orchard Lake in the background of the paddle courts. It's a great spot.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful spot. I think it's in West Bloomfield, I think. But, there's all sorts of lakes up around here, and I've driven around here a bit, too. The community's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
All these homes around the lake, and it's outstanding. And we're kind of sunken down here. In the summers, a beautiful view of the paddle courts, and in the summers in the tennis. So, yeah, cool spot up here in in this area, outside of Detroit.
And this is our second Grand Prix. We had Chicago. Our third Grand Prix is in the middle of January. It's at Short Hills. We rolled to Short Hills.
Yeah, this will be our final APTA tournament before the holiday season and the new year. And then we'll be coming right back with a bunch of live stream matches after that. It's like the Fairfield Open, or what used to be the Atlantic Classic, now the Ridgewood Open coming up. So the action continues throughout the year, but this will close it off for the holiday season. Yeah, he got burned there again. That's two of those. He's hitting the ball up to the to when that player is close in. The shot there would be to hold the drive, push up a lob down the line over Wagner's head. That would be the play there. Control the point with a lob. He's just always thinking about controlling it with his drive, right? Winning it with his drive. It's just a change. And actually, even a quick one down the lob there, he might get him to do the, like a sky hook over it. Then the next drive is going to be the better drive, right?
A lot of times you pass up one drive and hit a lob. You're rewarded with an easier drive on the next shot.
And what's unique about this here, too, is Murphy is really just like settled into a role, right?
Right.
Schneider's all over the court, hitting balls right and left, and he's just kind of trying to facilitate, see if he can find a little seam, make a little move here or there. He's definitely looking to close in on his volleys. And I liked it in the beginning when he was like, throw up a lob here. I think he needs to become like the coach on the court a little bit. He's been around the block. You want to let Schneider do what he does, but kind of focus that and corral it, right?
Yeah.
You know. That's just good. He's had about 4 or 5 of those since that first set. He's really getting it in there. Focus his spot better with that. Great shot. All right, Hersh and Wagner got to kind of reevaluate here. They're having a conversation back there. I'm not sure if he wants Hersh to hit more, what Wagner was saying there. We didn't really
I wish
catch
they
it.
were mic'd up. I mean,
Yeah, because I'm thinking he might want him to hit more. I'm not sure. And that time...
didn't work so well there.
Yeah, maybe
Plan
don't do
B.
that. Right, here you go. Forget what I said. But I really don't know what he said there. But, you know, he's going right into Murphy. And here's the thing about a guy who plays the way Murphy... He's getting rid of the hat. He just chucked it. Just came back down. I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, I've seen that too often. Like, he says, is that the reason he missed the allow? It's coming back. I guess that was in lieu of a paddle toss. Yeah, he's telling him to drive, I think, a little, because I think Wagner's feeling like he can't get opportunities he wants, and they're just going into that well of hitting those hard overheads into the Hersh corner. But, you know, Murphy's seeing those things, and they're offensive drives. Oh, this game's going quick here. 3-love now right away from Murphy Schneider. Hersh and Wagner got to kind of reassess a little, get this back. That was a quick game. You know, whatever, you know, if he asked them to drive more or not, they did, and it was bing, bang, boom.
So, on Brad, I think on the live streaming coming up next, we've got some women's quarterfinal matches at 1:30 Eastern time here. So, at the conclusion of this match, there will be a women's quarters being up, but I think on our other live streaming channel, that'll be starting promptly at 1:30, and I believe they have some new. They're bringing some new tools out on the court. Alison Morgan was in getting mic'd up. Can't wait to hear her comments out there. I'm sure they talked to her about keeping that the 4-letter words out of her, you know.
Yes, she's, you know, probably about the nicest person in the world. Yes. Tough competitor. It's been fun to watch her and her partner Morgan. Allison's not playing with her typical partner Charlotte Sikora. They've had a great journey. They've sort of positioned themselves at that spot. You know, you got the top 2 teams, right? You know, Burrish and Elliott, and you got Hanish and Zaboria, but they sneak in a win every year against either one of those. Well, you can't say they're right there because those, you know, but they're sneaking in those wins, and they're adding dimensions to their game each year as they're going. It's like they're on a paddle journey.
Yeah.
You know,
incremental improvements. Some great transition play here.
Yeah. I was thinking too, I'm wondering here, like, because they're starting to really attack that forehand corner of, they're going after Hersh now. You can see he's over there now. But that's the shot that they've been using, that one that, Schneider just hit. Maybe a little switch in the backcourt is not a bad idea for Wagner and Hersh. Just a look, a change, because things have been on a slide for a while now.
Yeah, and it puts Wagner's backhand, he's got a weapon there in the middle.
He's got a weapon in the middle. He can hit it on either side, and I think he'll attack more of those forehands that are over there. But you can see they're going to go in here now, and they're going to force. They're definitely getting to the spot where they're looking to force Hersh to beat him. Yeah, that's the forehand that they want him to actually hit.
Yeah.
And I think Wagner wants him to hit it a little bit more, too. That's a good look. Ball. Yeah, that's that side screen roller that we were talking about before, where you have to come more across the ball to the outside. And he hadn't really used it. He's been getting better with that roller since that first set. He's had 4 or 5 winners into the crease. Yeah, they have no desire to switch back here. And they're just playing a disciplined point. Oh, goodness. That's just perfect. Great ball there from Schneider.
Got it.
That's a good off-base little backhand.
You took the words out of my mouth. That probing off-speed ball.
See, that one I'd like to see him let that drop a little longer, get a little more length to his lob. That's a great shot.
15-30.
And that's the difference of Wagner being on top of the net or being one step off the net. He draws a volley error.
And smart move there from Schneider that time. He didn't come all the way in. He let Murphy got an early jump, so he was right there. He just waited to see what was coming. Then he could either handle it or let it go to the screen if it comes over. They just sort of lost their mojo here. They seem like they've gone flat, and they don't have an answer for what's going on here.
Yeah.
4-love quickly the last 2 games.
Now, as a, pickleball, you can call a timeout and kind of reassess and get your team back. And if you were a coach and you called a timeout, what would you say to Hersh and Wagner at this moment?
At this point, they're struggling. I think they need to... In a strange way, these guys are starting to attack him more and more. They have got to start figuring out where they want to go with these lobs. If I'm them, I just keep lobbing Murphy, too. Mm-hmm. In a weird way. Let's pick point and pinpoint. I'm going to put the ball to Murphy. I'm going to put the 20, 30 balls. He's not really hitting the heavier rollers. Find a way to just kind of... They're going to have to grind this out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not going to find a quick way to get this by hitting forehands. They're going to have to grind their way back.
And I would say that one of the points, too, that you've made is look to potentially change the way they're hitting their overheads. That was an ambitious Murphy's feeling it.
Yeah, silly drop. He's like, we've been winning a lot of points here. Let me give one back. But be careful. To me, you get up like this, you want to close this thing. You don't want to give them any life in any moment here. All right, that's 3 games in a row, and this is like a loose game finally here. This is exactly what Hersh and Wagner need. I don't think the exchange is where they want to go, though.
Yeah,
where Hersh doesn't want to do an exchange with Murphy there.
That hand-to-hand exchange, when Murphy is volleying downhill, is not the time to do it.
See, that's a shot that I would start using more. I would keep hitting that ball cross-court over there, and then I would sit on the forehand if they try to go into my side screen. Mm-hmm. And then make Murphy push him back, off the net, off the net, off the net, off the net, right? Keep pushing him back, off the net. boy. Yeah, they're just searching now. Searching. That was not an easy one-time backhand. Love 40 and 3 quick points right back. Yeah, he definitely wants Hersh hitting more, though, because he is hitting more.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, he wants more pressure.
Hersh has got to watch out for, though, that he's not driving at a team that's entrenched at the net.
Yeah,
You know,
there's 3 or 4 offensive volleys they've hit here. You're absolutely right. You know, you might want them to drive more, but you got to set somebody up a little first.
Yeah.
Right?
it's like there's a good drive. He had Schneider off the net.
Yeah, but they're definitely taking Wagner out, right? And they are just working this corner here.
That's a good ball there. Great close from Schneider.
Yep. Great job. Yeah, these guys are doing a great job seeing what's coming off their paddles. So they're closing it beautifully. He's going to cut it. Oh. Got over-amped on that one. He wanted an offensive shot on a tough ball. Again, lower than the net, though. It's just, it's close in, but it's not easy. And Wagner's starting to get frustrated. You can see it.
Yeah.
I mean, these last 2, he's trying to, he's getting the ball, he's hitting it. He's getting frustrated. This is going to get a hit, yeah. Yeah, that was a good
great
luck,
drive.
though.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's high, it's up, and that's his number 1 drive, right? That's the thing, that high forehand that he can hit down, that's moving into the court a little bit, coming forward in.
Boy, there you just see that athleticism and the hands. Schneider, just impressive.
Yep. Oh, all right. Break point here. And they came all the way back from love 40 in this game. They 3 quick ones, and then 3 right back. A little battle here. They're still trying to hit more.
So Warner giving Schneider a little taste of what he was giving him.
Yeah, great shot there. All right, 4-1, Hersh Wagner on the board. And it's time again to talk about one of our great sponsors, Volley. And get Volley at my club, a 30-day free trial with Volley. What's stopping you? Get 30 friends together and dive into a full month of elite training completely free. It's that easy. Ready to level up your game? Head over to getvolley.com/myclub and start your 30-day free trial today. And it's kind of like, why not, right?
Yeah.
Get Volley at your club, 30-day free trial. You'll find out if the machine works right for you guys, and it is a great machine. So 30-day free trial, getvolley.com/myclub. All right, so Hersh Wagner, they snuck that one out, but they're searching. You know what I mean? They're searching for answers here. He wants Hersh to hit more balls. He did that game. It worked. They got the game. But it's, to me, it's about like a place in between that spot where they're more disciplined with where they're going to lob it, where they don't know where to hit the ball now. Mm-hmm. They just don't know where they're going with it. They're hitting it. They're driving it. They're not really sure. And all the stuff they were trying to do before, they had this plan. We're going to waterfall. We're going to attack Schneider in the screen. And first set it worked, and he's been getting better ever since, right? So it's time for them to adapt, and they haven't figured out what that is yet. But here's the moment. Anytime, we all know momentum shifts in a heartbeat in paddle.
Well, they want to avoid that high ball to Murphy's forehand.
All right, so we got little tag team producers here. Sean's filling in for Cal. So if the quality of the broadcast slips a little, don't be afraid of Ray. Caught him off the net. Great drive there from Wagner. He's got a really compact stroke. He really does hit a clean, pretty ball. Yeah. He one-timed that one.
Well, that's the overhead down the line is always a bit of a, you're taking on more risk. Hitting to a smaller part of the court from off the net. You're vulnerable like there. We saw Murphy miss that volley.
Well, that was a sneaky drive there, a hook shot there from Schneider. Yeah, he's definitely finding his spot to drive it into the crease more. Oh.
He was not even in the frame, and he chose to drive that ball. That's a tough ask.
Yeah, and he paid the price for that one. It's tough. They had an idea coming in, and it worked for a bit, right? But ever since it's slowing down, they haven't had. And now it's like they finally got to this point when it was like 2-love, 3-love, and they were playing these fast games, and now they're trying to figure it out. To me, it's like, all right, where was that along the way? Two experienced players, right, who know each other. Maybe they just thought, oh, yeah, it's no big deal. We'll next point, right? But it kind of slipped away. It sort of slipped away. And now they're figuring it now. So let's figure if they can make this move here. So they didn't get it there. 5-1. Here it is. Last gasp here. Roller from off the net, a little far away. 15-love, couple of points away for Murphy Schneider to move their way into the quarterfinals. Yeah, I couldn't come down with that one off of that cord. All right, Dan Hersh has been stepping up and driving more. He's going for it again. Good volley there from Murphy. Driving. And there goes Wagner. He was quick on that. The cord, great shot. Drop shot. No, denied.
He tried to make it a little bit too good.
All right, 5-2. The games are moving quick here. You know, they've asked to drive more, so whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen fast. You know, the biggest takeaway in some of this is, for the most part, not a ton of the points have been these things where it's been set up with lobs, right? It's really just been back and forth. You know, it's not like one of these things where, okay, I see the lob going here, we're looking at place here. And it's been just, that's been the one area that I think has been the toughest for players to develop. All right, Wagner serving a stay in. Great spot drive there from Murphy. See, now I'd control this lob down the line, see if you can get, you want to get Murphy off the net as much as you can. Just keep him off there. Like he's there right now. Oh, he stabs at that one.
Great drive.
It was a great drive, but he doesn't usually stab. He usually stays pretty disciplined with what he's trying to take. Or at least he hits it with a forward move. That time he was moving away from it. All right, couple of quick points here. That's out. All right.
Hardest thing to do is to close them out. So the winner of this match will move on and play McNerney and Morgan in the quarters, in the bottom half of the draw, the number 2 seed. Looks like Broderick Christian are playing Grigorovich and
Ostojic.
Ostojic.
And that'll be a good match. They had a great win, Broderick and Christian, last tournament. They took out Regalado and Salazar.
Their first loss of the year,
First loss of the year, 6-1, 6-4, and in typical fashion, they gave them even less than the other guys did. They played a 6-1 first set, but it was like 2.5 hours, I heard.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet, but no doubt I'll talk to them about it today. So.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. It was the first time that I ever saw Salazar and Regalado
Get frustrated.
frustrated.
But they got frustrated somebody doing it to them.
Right.
What they've been doing to other guys. People have been saying they're slow play, this and that, but hey, Broderick's the master, right? And Broderick and Christian, waited for the right times, but then they picked their spots.
Yeah.
Well, and on top of that, I think they got frustrated and even started giving Broderick like the cut overhead to hit, like, hey, hit it, and it was exactly what those guys wanted to. They broke him down in the way they've been breaking other players down. No, they're not in this tournament together. Salazar is playing with his friend Guillermo Nunez, so they're our top seeds at this one.
Do you think they'll have the new name on the back of their? It'll be interesting to see.
What name would it be?
That's
Nunezar.
Nunezar. There we go.
Nunezar. Sala Nunez. I don't know. That one doesn't quite roll off the tongue as well, but if they got him, more power to you. And I kind of like it because people from a lot of those cultures, it's all hyphenated names.
Right.
Juan Martinez, Pablo Araya type of thing, right? So if you're going to combine them, great. Why not?
Yeah,
it's good. I'm down.
If we look back in the games these last couple games, where the short points with Schneider and Murphy, I think they missed 2 returns, and they kind of got away from what beat them or what was working. Playing those longer points, picking your spots, and It's one of the hard things, I think, to do when you're looking to close out a match. You sometimes get away from doing the things that were working.
Well, the good thing about, what Wagner was saying is at least it's something, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're bleeding games here. Hit more balls. If we hit more balls, things are going to speed up. Maybe they'll make a couple of errors as long as they don't do that, right? Where he buried that one in the net. And he's making his drive. He's got a drive, but he put it away for the most part. All right, 15 all here. See if Murphy Schneider can close this out. They're at the other end. This time they were up 5-1 when they were down 5-1 in that first set. Just out. Yeah, he's just getting them stuck in that corner. Great shot. 2 points from the match for Murphy. That's out. All right, double set point, double match point. There's Murphy doing his crowd, and then the switch in the, and that'll finish it out. He got one more nick. He must have had about 7 or 8 nicks, so it really huge difference in the improvement there and the quality of those shots there. So Schneider and Murphy moving on. Mike.
Well, Brad, that was a good start to the day for us. We'll be back here shortly for the women's quarterfinal, I believe. And that's a wrap for the first match that we get to call today, but we'll see everybody back here on the APTA channel shortly.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.